Good morning. Welcome here in the sanctuary and welcome online on YouTube Live to the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg. That's what colonizers call this place. It's actually the unceded indigenous lands that were stolen from the Tocobaga and Seminole Native Americans. Pagans observed Imbolc this past week, and Jewish people celebrated the Tu B'Shvat. February is African American History Month. It was good to see some of you for the flag raising ceremony outside City Hall. My name is Ben. My pronouns are he and they. I am excited to bring you today's worship service. It's called Rest as Resistance, Joy, Self-Care, and Humor as Acts of Radical Defiance. We'll have a view from the pew by Willa Tinsley, music by Liam Dunn, the Bell Choir, and also Joanne, and the special guest singer at the end. And today's worship associate is Pat Fling. Good morning, Pat.
Thanks, Ben. My name is Pat Fling, and my pronouns are she and her. If you want a church where women are equal partners, resistance to tyranny, kings, and patriarchy are encouraged, I have some good news. You may have found your church home. The lighthearted energy of our children is welcome here, and we encourage our families to bring their children and grandchildren on a regular basis.
Thanks, Pat. 2 announcements today. It's another season of giving and mingling. We have 8 new fundraiser events, they're called Mingles, being offered by members of UU St. Pete. This year you can play ping pong, shop the Lakeland Farmers Market, share poetry, or lift a glass to toast spring in a colorful garden. You have an insert in your order of service. It says scan the QR code, but there isn't actually a QR code. So what you have to do is go to the table in Gilmore Hall during coffee hour to find out more information and buy some tickets.
Our OWL class has been postponed. It will start the second Sunday starting in March. OWL stands for Our Whole Lives, and it's our inclusive sexuality education curriculum for adults and children. This one is for adults. Join Janae Johnson and Erin Powers then, or you can ask them more questions. The cost is $25.
I'm really excited for that adult OWL, so please sign up for that.
Please read the rest of your announcements in the order of service in our monthly newsletter and on the TV in Gilmore during the coffee hour.
Now, as Unitarian Universalists, we are a people of diverse beliefs, but we do share a common faith that what we do in this world matters, that every being is worthy of love, and that we're connected. We're connected to one another, we're connected to the earth. So whoever you are and wherever you are in your journey, you are welcome here.
Allow me to give a special welcome to any newcomers. If you're new to UU St. Pete or even relatively new, can you give a wave? If you'd like, please briefly introduce yourself. Reverend Ben will bring the microphone to you so those on YouTube can hear what you're saying. Of course, you're under no obligation to say anything, but if you're willing, we'd love to hear from you. Raise your hand.
I'm first speaking at my church at home, too. So my name is Sheila Koch Phillips, and I am Mary Koch's daughter, John and Mary Koch's daughter. And I'm just visiting, so I leave tomorrow, but lovely to meet you all.
Welcome. Glad you're here. Glad you're here.
Hi, we're Pam and Andrew Flowers. We have a home here. Usually it's rental because of COVID and all that stuff. We're not here very often, not because of COVID, but we have a home here. Anyway, I don't know, I should have thought of this more. But we are here, and we will be here for a little while, so you might see us on and off. Pam and Andrew.
Great. Welcome. Good to see you.
Hey, I'm Robin Crosa. I'm new to this church. I was raised in a Unitarian church in Atlanta, Georgia, and I joined the choir today as well, and I'm excited to be here.
Hey, thank you for joining the choir.
Hi, my name's Kathleen O'Neill. I've lived in St. Pete for about 20 years. I kind of grew up in UU Fairfax, and so I'm coming back to UU now. I haven't been in a while.
Welcome back.
We're Rick and Elder gentlemen. We are members here, but we're saying hello and goodbye for the season. But we're glad to be here today.
Notice that Patriots jersey, just saying. No? No? Go Pats!
Hi, I'm Katie, and this is Robin. We're visiting from UU Bradford Community Church, UU Kenosha, Wisconsin, visiting Carolyn Felt.
Thank you for sharing, and thanks for putting your cell phones into worship mode or mute. Regarding masks, we encourage you to wear one as you are comfortable. Now is the time for us to turn and greet our neighbors. Say hello to someone you aren't close friends with today, and share what brings you joy. And remember to get consent if you're going to hug or shake hands. Share what brings you joy.
That was really quiet. Please help us sing our children to their classrooms. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Almost all the children. We have some chalice lighters who have stayed behind. Thank you for that. Please rise as you're willing and able for our first hymn. It's called Find the Stillness, and it's number 352 in the gray hymnal. The stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence, let the silence carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit, giving power on. Find true harmony. Seek the essence, hold the essence, let the essence carry me. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony. Please remain standing for our chalice lighting. Our flaming chalice is a reminder that we choose to focus here together for this time and that we believe this time is sacred. Got our chalice lighters? There they are.
When Zelon and Emily light our chalice, I invite you to say our covenant out loud. The words can be found within your programs and online. Feel free to follow along with the two hand movements, hand to heart, hands reaching out like you're serving.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace,
to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Thanks, Zila.
We
Great
come-
job.
We come to the time in our worship service for joys, sorrows, and
Maybe seated.
concerns. Those of you on YouTube Live and are not in this room, but your presence is still felt. Please type your joys and sorrows into the text chat. If you have a joy, sorrow, or concern to submit during the week, please write to Reverend Ben at minister@uustpete.org.
Right now, Nancy Millichamp and Terry Perkins are going to place a stone in the water for each one that was submitted this week. And there's still time to bring up a card to me or to Pat. If you can't bring it up, ask a neighbor to bring it up for you.
Each week, we appreciate someone or someones who have worked hard to accomplish our mission. This week, we have a stone of joy for Sabina von Alek. Sabina is...
Surprise!
Sabina is so selfless, and that has been demonstrated in the past 2 weeks with all her coordination of the cold weather shelters. Her grace-filled presence is so appreciated.
And I can tell what she's thinking. If she had a microphone, she would be saying, lots of people do that work. It's not just me. So, thank you, Sabina. A stone of joy and gratitude for the president of our Unitarian Universalist Association, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, who just got arrested for civil disobedience in Washington, D.C. last week to protest funding for ICE. Not one more dime. Another stone for our UUA staff and leaders, especially the staff and leaders from the southern region.
A stone of concern from Chris McDonald. Please pray her surgery on her hand is successful. She has no use of her hand, and she'd appreciate calls and rides and other help.
Her contact information is in the member directory, or you can get it from me. A stone of both joy and concern from Krisha Logan. Krisha says, my cousin, who after helping plan for months, finally left her abusive husband. That's wonderful.
And we'll place the final stone for those joys and concerns that remain in our hearts, perhaps too tender to be spoken out loud.
May all of us find a comforting and compassionate presence in the warmth of fellowship and community.
We now invite you to say the UU St. Pete mission out loud. It's printed in your order of service.
Ready? Our mission is to be an inclusive,
evolving,
religious community
that inspires spiritual and intellectual growth to make our world a better place. We bring our mission to life through our wide range of shared ministries, social justice, religious education, pastoral care, and many more.
The mystery is that we're connected even when we feel apart. So let's rejoice in our beloved community that makes of the many one, and let's take about a minute of silence together.
Hello, everyone. I'm Willa Tinsley. I live in St. Pete, and I am an activist, an artist, and a street outreach worker. I started attending this church last year when I was going through a very difficult time, and I've been so deeply impressed by the warmth and dedication and sincerity of this congregation. Most of my friends thought I was crazy. I would be like, oh, I can't do brunch today, I'm meeting with my minister. They would be like, oh, on purpose? Spirituality is really foreign to most people of my generation. We've grown up in not just a secular society, but a overwhelmingly spiritually, morally bankrupt society, in my opinion. In the 90s, author David Foster Wallace predicted that the lack of spirituality in American culture would lead us to an epidemic of entertainment media addiction and eventually fascism. Wallace said, as we empty more and more values, motivating principles, spiritual principles from the culture, we're creating a hunger that is eventually going to drive us to a state where we may accept fascism. Along with the entertainment media addiction and the rise of fascism, I have seen that hunger for spirituality in my peers and recognized it in myself. This is what led me to conceive of and believe in, with Ben's support, a project of young adult outreach. Caring for ourselves and each other is a powerful resistance against forces of despair and atomization. I envision and have worked with Ben to draw up a group to bring together young adults seeking to live meaningful spiritual lives. We will have democratically led discussions of spiritual, moral teachings from a wide array of writers and traditions. We will discuss the questions and struggles we're grappling with in our own lives and offer support. And we will conclude with a community food share. I've worked for years with Food Not Bombs, the collective who shares food with our unhoused neighbors outside the church on Saturday mornings. And I'm excited to deepen my and the church's relationship with what they do. I will also be recording and offering Ben's sermons and conversations with other spiritual and activist leaders in the community as a podcast to highlight these important discussions and make them more accessible to young people, working people, people with disabilities, and those who have reservations about coming into church. This is a pilot project. We're forging a new path here. It won't be easy. It already hasn't been. AV stuff, as it turns out, is extremely complicated. But as things become darker in our country and people feel more and more alone and afraid, I think it's more important now than ever to undertake projects of hope, which reaffirm our connection and commitment to each other. And I feel hopeful about where this path will lead. Thank you for listening.
Put blue here. Thank you, Bell Choir. Thank you, Liam. Thank you, Willa. Our theme for February is embodying resilience. We began with last week's worship service led by John Motter, Ross Scott, Sabina, and others. And was I the only one who thought it was amazing? Please join me in thanking them for their work last week. I mentioned African American History Month before, and our White House marked the beginning of African American History Month by posting racist images of Barack and Michelle Obama. Shame. Both our federal and our state government continue to move towards fascism and totalitarianism. ICE continues to arrest and kill with no accountability, and we have lost our beloved Dave Cole and our beloved John Curtis. How can we even think of rest, joy, self-care, and humor at a time like this? Well, as it turns out, now is the perfect time to do exactly that. Just now when I said sort of that litany of bad things, how many of you felt your bodies tense? A beloved community, when we're tense and stressed out like that? I'm not. Are we better social change energy agents that way? No. When your car is running out of gas, those of you who have cars, and you have someplace important to go, you just floor it? Like, just commit harder to getting there and hoping, or if the oil light comes on, you just keep driving? No, you stop before your car conks out. It's the same with our bodies, with our souls, with our hearts, with our minds. So let's take a moment. Let's take a breath. In Minneapolis, they taught me breathe in on a 3 count, breathe out on a 4 count. So I invite you to breathe in, 1, 2, 3, and breathe out, 1, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4. There's nothing tyrants hate more than joyful people, than laughing people, than well-rested, calm people. Tyrants want us anxious, want us fearful. Just a few weeks ago, the Portland frog brought ice to its knees. And it was good to see the frog's cousin Chicken this morning in our front row. ICE doesn't know what to do with humor and joy because their whole narrative is about violent criminals, armed resistance, threats from protesters. So combating ICE with humor, with singing, with joy, just takes the air right out of them. Most of you know I traveled to Minneapolis following a call for clergy to come support local organizers. 1,200 of us came from around the country. For me, it was a transformational experience, and I felt it was my duty as your minister to respond. Just as much as it is to be up here, it's my duty it was my duty to go there. But I left on Friday night. ICE murdered Alex Preddy on Saturday morning. My colleagues that remained, though, tell me that after the murder, the community didn't respond with rioting or violence. They responded with community care by holding one another. The danger left when ICE left. So people brought trays of samosas, passed them around. Lots and lots of free hand warmers, passed them around. Hugs were offered and gratefully received. The danger left when ICE left. You heard Willa Tinsley, and I love that you stood up for her. She and I are trying to engage more young adults in our community, and young adults are amazing at using humor and joy to combat fascism. I'm not on Instagram. The church has an Instagram account, but I'm not on it. Many young adults are. And the memes about, for example, our president are hilarious. And he hates being laughed at. He doesn't know what to do with that any more than ICE knows what to do with it. One that comes to mind is, I saw a picture of him and it said, "I believe in traditional marriage. I've had 3 of them. And speaking of young adults, I have a favorite new Facebook friend. Does anyone know feminist comedian Brooke Teagarden? It's otherwise known as Let's Not Date is her website. Yeah, you know it from Let's Not Date. So Brooke Teagarden's sexy alias, Brooke America, is an 18-year-old conservative influencer wannabe. And so her character, Brooke America, answers flirty messages from older conservative men. And then when she's in a dialogue with them, she educates them about feminist, working class, and LGBTQ history against their will. How many of you know about Reverend Tricia Hersey's work? Reverend Tricia Hersey wrote Rest is Resistance, a manifesto. We're going to be hearing a lot from Reverend Hersey today. She says, the Rest is Resistance framework does not believe in the toxic idea that we are resting to recharge and rejuvenate so we can be prepared to give more output to capitalism. What we have, she said, what we have internalized as productivity has been informed by a capitalist, ableist, patriarchal system. Our drive and obsession to always be in a state of productivity leads us to the path of exhaustion, guilt, and shame. We falsely believe we are not doing enough and that we must always be guiding our lives toward more labor. The distinction that must be repeated as many times as necessary is this: we are not resting to be productive. We are resting simply because it is our divine right to do so. Reverend Hersey adds, for Black people who are descendants of enslaved Africans via the transatlantic slave trade and chattel slavery, consider the fact that your ancestors built this entire nation for free with their stolen labor, and use this knowledge to tap into what they have already done, so you don't have to grind yourself into oblivion now. Perfect timing. Now, in addition to her books, Reverend Hersey published this. This is a set of Rest as Resistance cards. For those of you who are neurodivergent like me, it's easier than reading a book. You just read a card. And you do it kind of like a tarot card deck. You do this, and then you pick whatever one speaks to you, and then you read. It says, staring out the window and gazing at the sky or a tree is rest. More on the back. In a culture focused on hyper-productivity, it can feel uncomfortable to sit and do nothing and let silence wash over you. Doing nothing is a radical part of your lifelong rest practice. To be intentional about embodying rest disrupts systems of oppression. We must practice rest. We must commit to it as a protest. We must go slow. Go stare at the sky. Go stare at your heart. Isn't that great? That's just one card. Who's willing to pick a card from the deck and read it? All right. Baby's a little young to pick a card.
Baby, which card do you want to pick? This one? Okay, I'll read this one. To rest in a capitalist world takes practice and meticulous care. The other side? Oh, that's long. Okay. You don't need anyone's permission to rest. You don't need anyone's permission to resist. You don't need anyone's permission to disrupt. Offer yourself grace, and as you craft and experiment with your rest practice, take your time. There's no need to rush. Liberation is a lifetime process.
Troy was literally doing this. The more Bianca talked, Troy was understanding the assignment. Who else? Donna. Which one speaks to you? That one we just read. Anyone but that one.
Rest does not have to be earned. Oh boy, this is how it goes. Every time you pull this card, repeat this phrase at least 5 times. Rest does not have to be earned. Whisper it silently, boldly, proclaim it, write it over and over again. Place this card on your bathroom counter, in your office, next to your bed, and over your heart. You don't have to earn rest. It is your birthright. Here we go, everybody. Rest does not have to be earned. Rest does not have to be earned. Rest does not have to be earned. Rest does not have to be earned.
Rest does not have to be. Did that one speak to you? It looked like it did. You want to hang on to it for a minute? All right. Getting over to Krisha.
As I rest, I must make space for others to rest. Consider how you can share rest with a friend or loved one. Meditate together, nap together, do nothing together. Community care is central to this rest movement. You will not be able to disrupt and deprogram from the teachings of grind culture alone. You will not move towards liberation from an exhausted state. It is not possible. Collective rest is possible. You are not alone.
Thank you. Before I get to you two, remember when your body's tensed up when I said those 4 sentences? It looks like your bodies are relaxing. Are you feeling that? So lean into that as you listen to these cards, as you listen to the words of folks around you. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the seat beneath you. Listen to the sounds of the voices. Feel the air around you. Notice you're not alone. Lean into the rest.
Sit, stand, or lie down in a comfortable position. Oh, should I read this side or the other side? Okay. I am asking for divine grace and rest to cover me. I will anoint myself with rest. It's up to you. Do you want me to read it? Sit, stand, or lie down in a comfortable position. Place your hands over your heart and breathe slowly. In a culture focused on hyperproductivity, it can feel uncomfortable to be still and do nothing, just letting silence wash over you. Cultivate a space for silence right now. It can be a few seconds, it can be a minute, a lifetime. Trust your body. With your hands over your heart, repeat. Grind culture cannot have me. I will resist, I will rest. Grind culture cannot have me. I will resist, I will rest. Keep slowly repeating this to yourself. Slow down each word until it covers you. This is rest.
There is no urgency. There is no perfection. I am enough. Deprogramming from grind culture includes a new relationship with time. There is always time to rest when you reimagine what rest can be. You must be subversive, inventive, and flexible. Rest is ancient. Your body is ancient. I do feel that. You are coming back to yourself when you rest. Keep coming back to yourself.
Time for one or two more.
I trust myself more than capitalism. When grind culture pulls you in, speak this aloud. I don't give myself enough credit for what I already know and what I can figure out. There is so much wisdom inside me. When I pause, listen, and rest, I'm surrendering to my brilliance. To trust and have faith in myself is a radical act of justice. The time to cultivate trust in myself starts now and forever.
Before reading a card, can I just, I feel a lot of friction right now. I don't know if anybody else has been following the Epstein class. So, you know, I get there's a lot of people who feel very pressed to be productive in this system, but if anybody has any thoughts on how to deal with the constant barrage of depravity that feels all around us, ever present and so powerful, the difficulty of watching it, having a little kid hearing about what's happening, there's a really hard paradox you're put in where if you stop watching, what can we do, right? What are we going to do about this? Because our government has been bought by what we know to be, just to be vague, like criminals. So, yeah, I want to practice joy as an act of resistance, but also not to the extent where we're not doing anything about what people are dying, you know? ICE is killing people, killing innocent people, and we know as a country that's what we were founded on, so that's how this whole country was built, on depravity. So I guess I'm asking for some spiritual guidance on not necessarily navigating the grind culture, but the way that we are ground up as people in this culture.
It's a good question, and I think this congregation spends a lot of time working outwardly, and the reason the worship team chose this now is because the leaders in Minneapolis, for example, were and survivors of sexual violence, like those that are being re-victimized by this process of the release of the Epstein files. They told us this is what to do. That if we just are doing stuff all the time, it's not as good. It's the car without the gas in it. Did you also want to? Okay. No, And the other good point is there's a difference between, okay, we're resting, and we're resting because it's our divine right, not so that we can get back in there. But there's a difference between that and navel gazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just can't deal. Well, that's a privileged thing. I'm an older white guy. There's not a lot of consequence for me if I shut out what's happening to the groups you mentioned. Yeah. Yeah, but you're not alone. Good. Even the introverts came, yeah. Let's talk about more during the coffee hour. Do you still want one of these? Okay.
Maybe one will speak specifically to my problem right now.
They tend to do that.
I will unravel from urgency. Find a comfortable place to sit or lie, then read these words aloud. I deserve patience, grace, mercy, and care. I deserve not to be rushed. I deserve to be seen as powerful and tender. I am worthy of a slow and connected, rested life. When I act with urgency, I am ignoring the beauty of what is here right in front of me. I will surrender to the flow of life. I will rest. That one does speak to me. I like Taoism, and I do think that to an extent, you know, we have to all learn to see the beauty of life in the midst of the just monstrosity. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. This UU Ministers Association Institute that I just came back from in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It happens once every 3 years. It was my first time. It was amazing. It was transformative for me. There were learning tracks, so you could pick the thing you wanted to learn, but then there were worship services. So as the learning tracks, there was seeing colleagues and connecting with colleagues that I hadn't connected with. But the worship services were off the chain. They were so good. They were just what so many of us needed. We have incredible worship leaders in our denomination. I cried at every one. There were 3 of them. So I went through a lot of tissues for all 3. We'd begin each worship service by acknowledging I don't know your first name. Oh, Beth. What Beth just said, acknowledging the real horror of what is going on. And the worship leaders took us through a period of mourning, which our denomination isn't always great at, just sitting with the horror, the sorrow, and holding one another and singing laments. And then by the end, we were singing, clapping, and dancing. Because joy is not the opposite of lament. It is really only through this lament and this acknowledgement that you can truly experience the joy. And we were led through that every day of this institute in Albuquerque. We would start by crying, and we would end by singing, clapping, dancing, and also crying. I feel so rejuvenated by that experience, and I hope you all feel a little bit of the same after this worship service. Our focus on self-care and joy is in keeping with our universalist history. Colonial universalists believed in a loving God as opposed to the Puritan punishing God. I could see a punishing God urging people to work harder and subscribe to grind culture, but a loving God probably would want us to rest and be joyful. And our focus today is in keeping with our values: interdependence, justice, and generosity, to name a few. So this week, I urge you to try some of what we talked about, some of what you all voiced during the week. Try embracing joy. Try doing at least one act of self-care. Use humor, all as acts of radical defiance. Incorporate this as a spiritual practice. Share what you do with others in this congregation and share it with me. I'll end with one final thought from Reverend Hersey. Please bear it in mind this week and beyond. You are not unworthy. The systems are unworthy. Amen. Ashe. And blessed be.
We eat from fruit from trees planted long before we were born. May we plant seeds that bear fruit long after we're gone. In the sanctuary, the offering will now be given and received.
Got to find our guest singer. So I wrote this in Minneapolis. Or did you write it? I wrote this in Minneapolis. But it's the first time we performed it. We didn't have a chance. There was too much going on there in Minneapolis. Ready when you are. Why are there so many ice thugs in ski masks? Why are they here at all? You spray us with pepper, but we won't surrender. We respond to the clergy call. We came from all over to support Minnesota. Let's side with love and you'll see. We all believe in interconnection, Minneapolis, St. Petersburg, and me. They tap into phones, use facial recognition. I'm probably on their first list. But still I am here with Protestants and Catholics, Jews and Unitarian Universalists. We came from all over to support Minneapolis. Let's side with love and you'll see. We all believe in interconnection, Minneapolis, St. Petersburg, and Gulfport, and Largo, and Tallahassee, and Washington, D.C. And me. Thank you. And what's given in love we receive. Thank you so much for your gifts. Is it a hymn now? Please rise as you're able for our closing hymn. It's number 327 in the gray hymnal, Joy Thou Goddess. Joy thou goddess, mortal offspring of Elysium. Whoa, sorry, let's start again. Sorry, Joanne.
Joy thou goddess, fair immortal, offspring of Elysium, mad with rapture to the portal of thy holy fane we come. Fashion's laws indeed may sever, but thy magic joins again. Humankind is one forever, 'neath thy mild and gentle reign. Joy in nature's wide dominion, mightiest cause of all is found. 'Tis joy, the joy that moves the pinion, when the wheel of time goes round. From the bud she lures the flower, suns from out their orbs of light. Distant spheres will obey her power, far beyond all mortal sight. What do you think? Should we try one of the German verses?
No.
Verse 3. Y'all seem really excited to do it. Let's do verse 1 in German.
Go for it, Ben.
Freude, schöne Güterfunken, tochten aus Elysium. Wir betrennten Feuer trunken, Himmel schied dein Heiligtum. Deine Zauber binden wieder, was die modestrengeltheit Alle Menschen werden Brüder, wo dein softer Flügel weit. You did great. Give yourselves a round of applause.
You may be seated.
Seated. Sorry.
Our closing words are from Tricia Hershey. Rest is a healing portal to our deepest selves. Rest is care. Rest is radical. We must stand and lay firm in the space of creating a life filled with rest and radical care, even amid oppression. Now please remain seated as Liam plays our postlude. We invite you to follow along with the hand gestures to extinguish the chalice. Light of truth head, warmth of love heart, fire of courage fingers, as Donna Starr and David Snaith extinguish our chalice. The words to UU St. Pete's traditional chalice extinguishing are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of courage. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world.
Our worship is over, but our service begins. Please join us for coffee in Gilmore Hall. If you see someone not talking to anyone, maybe go up and say hello. We hope this time together will help you through your week and will help you remember you are not alone. Blessings, friends.